Saturday, 25th of January, 2025 at 6:51 p.m. here on Harstine Island, Washington, United States of America. Welcome once again to some cosmic journey. Your cosmic journey, our cosmic journey, and cosmic journey. Who really can
One's
say?
cosmic journey.
Regardless, it's your super fun dev and design podcast that highlights why, oh, why it's been 71 weeks of this thing. We haven't had anything to buy yet. He's the engineer, Trey. I am the designer, Jake. Hello, Trey.
Hi, Jake.
Oh, I didn't do the transition. There. My what we're going to talk about really today is the tightrope walk of making sure that you have a product that people need, that it's timed right. That's fine. Thank you, electional astrology. And that it gets done, with a team that works well together and making sure that you're releasing it with the right business model. And that's really what today is all about. Um, I mean, we've got plenty of other things to talk about other than that. This is my way of saying hello. Hi. Anything you would
Hello
like
and
to add
welcome.
to that?
Welcome to the three-ring circus that is cosmic plumbing.
Yeah, we already did. We've done so many episodes of this that I think that End Ring Circus is a joke we've already done. If it has
Yeah,
been a
no,
joke,
it is.
feel
Like,
free to take a look at that episode back there. It was probably
yeah,
about 50 weeks ago.
if you're looking for a joke title, they're probably all used. Like, what are
Yeah,
we even going to call things now? We're just going to have to call them like video 70,428.
yeah. One day we're going to get to it. This week's episode is called A Platform for Every Occasion.
Oh, I
We'll
like it.
have, yeah, thank you. We'll have Trey do a check-in question. And then we'll talk a little bit about, I mean, what I wrote here is big time amazing demo. And then we'll do a thank you. But of course, before we get to all of that, we always start with the check-in question. Mr. Henry?
So we've had a little bit of conferences have been on our mind lately, and let's just leave it at that. And I'm curious if you could um, describe the conference coming up in 2025 that you would be like, doesn't matter what it costs, I'm going to be there.
Mm.
Doesn't matter. Like it's like this is the Jake conference. They made it for me. What would the conference be?
The first thing that came to my mind was game show creation, and I would want to add to that something around, okay, it's got to be, it would be homemade, the homemade the homemade game show maker con 2025,
Oh,
focused primarily, almost exclusively on DEI topics. Other, like whatever diversity that we want to, whatever angles we want to go. I would love that conference. And being gay, token gay, it is the easiest amount of diversity that I could possibly have to be admitted to such a conference, which would be great. I would love that.
I think so. I have a question though before we go
Sure.
on. Is it like because when you started describing it, I was thinking it was like Ludum Dare or something like that, where it's like
Mm.
over the course of the conference, it's not a conference really. It's like a game jam. It's like a game
That's
jam for
part of
game
it.
shows.
That's part of it. It goes all the way from Robert Schmidt level, like philosophical understanding of the basis of game as
Yeah,
it existed within Hellenistic
game
worlds,
game.
all the way down to now we're going to jam out a game with AI together. I would love that.
Yeah, yeah. That's really cool. I like that idea. I like game show game jam. Is I don't that's a good one.
That does not exist.
I
You
don't
know
think that
why?
exists.
One person. That'd be me. That's it. That's it.
It's a conference of one.
So conference of one. What about you? What's your conference?
I think mine would be it'd be more like retreat than conference. So it would be a small group of um, sorcerers with a focus on divination.
Mhm.
And now I'm gonna kind of crib off of yours too, which is that like originally I was thinking, well, it would just be like a getaway in like some place in rural like somewhere, kind of like out of the way of anything, but where it's kind of self-sufficient. And then everybody can like come and hang out. And it's like casual, but it's also like everybody bring a topic to talk about or like some weird divination system for everybody to learn. But now I also like the idea of, and at the end of this, we're gonna have like a divination jam where
Oh
you
yes.
know, we're gonna create a divination system as a group, and come out of the conference with that. I think that would be
Love
really
that.
fun. Yeah.
That sounds great, actually.
Yeah.
Good checking, everyone. Good checking. Yay. We had some mic problems that we're just solving, and that I may have panicked and swiped my face hand across my face like that. Don't worry about it. You you've only seen that. Let's go into Trey's demo, and of course, we always start Trey's demo by having me talk. So you might you might remember that last week we talked a lot about the mental model of how design software so how design software evolved in the mental model of designers and how it evolved with the software and its tools, and how we see similar things happening in astrology, but that we may have been going a little faster than what astrology may have been used to, or what they may have been like down for. So let me just show you again what we had talked about last week, and I think that will go much further than me just talking about it. So if you remember, we talked about big screens versus small screens. We talked about websites versus apps. And we said in design software, there was this idea that like most everything, because those professional tools had to be big screen and app. And then there's this player that came on Figma, and then Figma decided they were going to take over the whole world. And we thought the same thing, like we were going to do big screen website, and that's what astrology software was going to be for professionals. And then we started having conversations with folks and started really getting like the mindset of what was going on here, and talked a little bit more about like what professional tools look and feel like today, what somebody would be open to in the near future, sometime soon, relatively soon in terms of the cosmos, relatively soon to buy a piece of software from us. Who knows when that could be. um,
Cosmically soon.
cosmically soon, sometime before the heat death of the universe, maybe we'll have something out for them. Um, but then Trey and I had to have a heart to heart about this, and really talking about this, what we just talked about, the big screen, small screen, the app versus website thing, and what that means for us. And this is going to go to Trey's demo, talking a little bit about like where we want to go. Trey, do you want to take over at this point?
Just one thing to add to what you were saying as well is that it's not just the experience of the software and the expectation of the experience of the software, which, as we've also pointed out, like user expectation is very high now when it comes to
Mhm.
things. But it's also intimately tied to cost models and revenue models, and like how people want to pay for software, and the fact that like the subscription for sort of like software that doesn't feel like it should be subscription for a lot of people has become this kind of like toxic thing because companies abuse that model so heavily,
Yeah,
um, and it's like horrible and terrible, and we don't want to do that either.
correct.
And so it's kind of like a bunch of different things, kind of, it's not just expectations of the software, but it's also expectations of like how I pay for it, and that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. So knowing full well that like we were probably targeting a monetization model that was not going to be super viable, and that one that feels more globally that was not going to survive this move into from Capricorn into Aquarius. I keep going this thing. The plutocracy has moved into an air sign, and therefore monetization models probably need to change to feel a little bit more keen to the times.
Yeah.
That's really what comes
Can
out.
we call it? Can we call it like the subscript apocalypse?
The subscript apocalypse. You
Yeah.
will see that on your screen right now. Subscript apocalypse. Hopefully, this time when it comes up, much like we did with World Esoterics, I don't misspell it. Here's the good thing about it.
Easter egg that was misspelled.
Yeah, Easter egg. It was misspelled in that episode. The good thing is when I filed the paperwork to rename our company World Esoterics, I spelled it correctly. So good on me. But in the video, couldn't be bothered. So
It's hard to
subscript
tell though.
you, you know, it turns out subscript apocalypse. There it is on your screen right there.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's go now to I think we can call this the king of all demos,
Yeah,
Mr.
the mother,
Henry,
the father of all demos,
the
let's
father
say,
of all
since the mother
demos.
of all
This is the
demos is the
Chronos of all demos. This is, here we go.
okay, I'm gonna switch over to my terminal. And then okay, so this is gonna be very quick. But you will notice here, so, uh,
Ooh.
imagine fancy astrology stuff here. So the thing that you're looking at here is this is a an app that's actually running on my desktop. And now you'll notice that there's no cosmic stuff in here right now, and that's okay. This is a process,
Yeah.
uh, but you could imagine that this is an actual application that you run on your machine, and you might notice up here in the corner of the screen that it says Electron. Uh, for those who don't know, Electron is a platform that allows you to take sort of web technology stuff and then package it up as an application that runs natively on the desktop. And it's great in a lot of ways because it makes it easier for developers, particularly small development shops, although really big ones too. Everybody kind of uses Electron. Figma uses Electron. Um, but anyway,
You didn't see
it's
that. I was winking at the camera. Go ahead. Keep
oh,
going.
okay, perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, everybody kind of uses Electron, and even Urania uses Electron. Um,
What?
I know, crazy, right? Uh,
Crazy.
but then, so then you might say, well, what about the web? Like, like what well, yes. So here is that same exact thing, and it's just running on the web. And this is kind of a little bit of what we were talking about before with the fact that the world has moved on from like web, not web. It's like everybody has very high expectations, and it's like, oh yeah, like I should be able to go to the website and just hit this thing, but also I should be able to install it on my machine and use it while I'm on a plane. And so
Yeah.
this is where this kind of like technology really comes into play. But there's one other thing I wanted to show you here, which is so if actually here I'll go back here and I'll just run this in the background one more time. And so we're still just showing the same. This is developer tools, by the way, so ignore that. So we're still doing the exact same thing, but here now I can actually make a request of the system as well. And so this is all just running on my local machine. However, if curled is just a way of it does the same thing as your web browser. It just gets some content from the web, right? And in this case, it's just coming from my local machine. And if I do that, I'm getting a response from Sobolo, the cosmic backend, as we call it, Sobolo. So this is a stack that gives us web delivered, it gives us desktop delivered, and it gives us backend delivery, sort of all as kind of one thing, but also separate enough that we can do things like have a strong separation of concerns for things like completely offline mode. So yeah, this is very exciting. I know as a demo, it probably doesn't look super compelling right now.
Yeah.
But this is the technology stack that is going to allow us to deliver what we want to deliver in a way that we have now heard from lots of people they want it delivered.
Yeah.
So we're listening to you. We're trying to change and pivot as we are doing things, as Jake was saying, maintaining that flexibility. But we are also very cognizant of the fact that the longer it takes to do something, the more the stuff moves.
Yes.
So
It's
so
after a
we have
while.
to, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're not trying to like we're not going to burn ourselves out, for example,
You know,
but we are going to kind of get the foot on the gas more.
two things. So the first thing is we always talk about ourselves as more of like a band than a company, but a
Yeah.
band that sits in the studio and doesn't make an album for 10 years is also pretty depressing. So we understand that we can't be that band, number one. And number two, I would appreciate if you all did not make fun of Trey for saying back end delivery or delivery in the back end, because like, look, we're not that type of company. We're not those type of people.
I mean,
So
but we could be.
we you know what, we would appreciate it if you just left that juvenile behavior on the floor. Like, come on. Yes. And what I would say is like, look, the one of the biggest reasons that a startup can not succeed is that you don't have a product that meets the needs of its customers. And I think what the really beneficial thing that
In
we
the
have,
industry, we call this product market fit.
yes, and a lot of ways that people think about product market fit is around like what features you offer and things like that.
Yeah.
However, it's also what platforms you deliver to, what monetization model that people are going to feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And we are very thankful, incredibly thankful to the professional astrologers that have told us in big and small ways how our assumptions were or not working. And a lot of what we heard was from them. And so if you ever, my, my ask to all of you that want to build something new, whether it is a game show for your game show con, a a magical experience, a software product, anything, is go put it in like go talk to people. Even if you have nothing to put in front of people, go talk to them about what they do, what they want. And you don't have to like listen. It's not a 100% match between what they say and what you do. But if you listen enough, you'll start seeing patterns of things where people don't feel comfortable about what you're doing and they won't say it straight out, but like it's clear that what you're doing is probably not going to work. And one of the other ways that you can really destroy your company before it even starts is by being calcified in your ways. And
Yeah.
instead, and we've decided to say like we're not going to be calcified. We're going to pivot away from what we consider the wrong business model or the wrong assumptions about where our customers' heads were going to be at. And we're going to meet them where they are. And that's a lesson that took us 71 weeks to figure out.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we're what do I want to say here?
We're not going to run out of money.
Yeah,
We don't
we're
have
not going to run out of money.
investors.
As somebody who just watched a video, some not exactly like this, but very similar to this, coming from the browser company, and being a big lover of Arc, their initial product, which they've basically abandoned. They say that they haven't, but they have. And so here's the thing. Like here's the big takeaways from basically what Jake and I are saying is that we're still making astrology software. It's going to be more awesomer than it was before, and we are absolutely dedicated to making this happen. It's just we're also trying to make sure that we do it in such a way that we're happy with it, you're happy with it, and we're able to do like all the cool like you should be able to go to the Apple App Store and get the thing. As well as hit it on the website, as well as use it on an airplane when you don't have a connection to the internet, or when you're
Uh,
on one of Germany's terrible trains and you don't have connection to the
You
internet.
should also be able to rent it for a month or buy it to own and own it forever. Those are things that we are also deeply considering. What should the viewer do? I think what the viewer should do is think about where they're calcified and calcitrant in their lives, whether it is something that is in their business, in their career, in their life, in their relationships, and figure out how you can chip away at that and decalcify it and think deeply about whether it needs to be fixed or whether it needs to be moving. Does that sound good for the viewer?
Yeah, and also get up on your roof and clean it because it's probably
Yeah,
dirty.
clean your roof. I think we already told them to do that once already.
Okay,
If you haven't done it
but
yet, yet go do
I
it.
did it again today, so now I'm still on
Love it. Be well. Take care. We love you very much. We'll see you
it.
again
Love you.
next weekend. Whatever day you watch this video, that's a perfect day to watch this video. You keep doing that. All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.